Welcome to another Popspective. And as you can see, I'm going to talk about X-Men, the animated series that began in 1982. And it's going to be talking about episodes 3 and 4 of season 1, where basically Magneto is introduced. And we really kind of get what I think is a great explanation on why people love the show. Because episodes 3 and 4, which talk about, Magneto's arriving, you have a lot of storylines that involve explaining the history between Professor X and Magneto, as well as Wolverine and Sabretoothe, as well as showcasing some of the different powers that manifest, as well as elaborating into consequences, right? This doesn't just go on for one episode. It really is 2 full episodes where we get a little bit of this. It moves very rapidly. So I will love to say, I love the fact that in the recap, you get a great moment with Wolverine because of Morph. Morph passes away. Morph was created for the show so they could show the possibility of death. They wanted stakes to be at play on the show. And it's a reminder here where Wolverine's talking about, I will avenge you, my friend. And it's about the prison break and trying to free Beast as he's reading Animal Farm. And it's the fact that Magneto is the one that shows up and he starts lecturing Beast, like, I'm here to get you out. And Beast is like, no, I want my day in court. Magneto is like, no, our mutant powers make us superior. They're not going to give you a fair trial, right? Now, Jubilee is also something that was changed for the show, right? I said last time Jubilee was added in place of Kitty Pryde because Kitty Pryde's version of this did not test well. They added Jubilee, redid a few things, retooled it. She represents the excuse to explain things to the young new mutant who doesn't know anything. So we the audience can learn, or the young child who's now seen X-Men for the first time can learn. And what you get is Professor Xavier explaining that this is a relationship. Magneto is Magnus, someone he met right after the war, alluding to World War II, that they had worked together. They had been trying to cure people. But Magneto lost his family. And there's a point where it gets to where it become a violence versus peace debate. So really, to be honest, this was one of the best parts of the show. And then we cut back to our time, and you have Beast Day in court and different things that are showcasing prejudices and biases. And then you also get like Wolverine ready to attack Sabretoothe, who shows up, right? Sabretoothe attacks and they have the upper hand on him. And then you also have Wolverine's like ready to cut off life support, so you don't understand. And Storm even says, I understand how you feel. Now, of course, Magneto is still out there, and there's a great line that Xavier says to Magneto, says about Magneto to Wolverine. Wolverine says, but why do we have to trash your old enemy? But we're going easy on mine. Right. But Wolverine hasn't really fully explained the dangers and the history with Sabretoothe yet. But it is sort of the other piece of that equation. Sure, the mutants can live in peace and protect humans. Magneto is like, no, we're superior. We need to rule them. And you have Xavier, who wants to be the moral arbiter of deciding what we do and when we do it. Right. We're not going to take on Sabretoothe because I say so. But I need you guys to rally, get everybody in a Blackbird, head out there and take on Magneto, who basically, triggers a nuclear attack that involves Storm having to try to save the day, which she does. It is also, I don't know that it's in the comic books. And again, I'm not going to pretend to be an X-Men, steward here. The scene where Xavier uses Cerebro to connect to Storm to transfer information about the missiles to Storm. Anyway, Storm does save the day, which I think is great. And then, of course, she passes out. Wolverine catches her, that kind of thing. And it transitions into the next story. And it's called Deadly Reunions because you have they have to come back together again. So Magneto versus Professor X and Xavier, as well as Sabretoothe versus Wolverine. This stuff is not going to stop. And you have the mind exploration that's being showcased by Professor X. Like he's able to go into, and you see a little bit of different images and things that are there. And obviously your Easter eggs and things that you can find there because there are several. And during the battle that you have takes place, because you have 2 things, right? Magneto attacks this chemical plant, and he gets the upper hand on all of them. You know, Storm has a flashback to like being a little girl where stuff's falling on top of her. Rogue is the one who actually is okay, and she pulls Storm away, tries to do CPR on Cyclops, and you can see in the image there, that means that she's going to absorb some of his powers, and her eyes are out of control. She's got the optic blast, and she doesn't know how to control it. So now the audience gets a little bit of dose of characters' backstories, how their powers worked, all of these different things that moves very, very rapidly in like 20-minute episodes that kids can watch. It's dark and edgy, but it's not like scary or inappropriate, right? And even though it comes down to Xavier having to use his powers to have Magneto suffer, basically, he uses his powers for Magneto to relive his memories and the pain, and that kind of is enough of a distraction to make Magneto want to regroup. And Sabretoothe, of course, gets free by duping Jubilee. Like he's like, listen, I understand. I'm trying to do better. I can't control it. But of course, he's faking. And you have Wolverine showing up, and you have, this big fight that takes on. And Sabretoothe kind of gets the upper hand, right? But Jubilee actually defends him. First, she says she's all snarky, no, but then she literally uses her powers. And that lets Sabretoothe escape, but Wolverine is fine. And this is where you start to see the full plot of the X-Men universe here, where you have, obviously, like I said, Magneto versus Xavier, but he says, maybe my ideal has made me blind and I may have failed a bit here. And this is exactly why this show works. It's not the images that you see on screen. It's not because season 1 has these great graphics and these great images and this great execution. I think it's fine. I enjoy it, but it's because you have literally years of lore, years of comic books that can be accessible for children and in a very fast way. Like, I can point you to countless times that we get Xavier Magneto lore, that we get Sabretoothe versus Wolverine stuff. You see something like this, you fall in love with elements, and all you want to do, let me read the comic books. Let me go find a graphic novel. Let me do this. And that's exactly what they should be doing. They should be trying to do things that connects all this together and builds on their universe, not try to redefine it or modernize it. But this is another reason why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to kind of go through these episodes, talk about some of those things, talk about my appreciation of it, why I think it not only holds up, but those kinds of things. But tell me what you guys think. I mean, obviously the show is considered kind of legendary, but I'm very, very curious on what you guys think. You guys have certain kind of takes on things and that sort of perspective. So, give me your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate it so much. I'm Pops. Thank you so much. I'll be doing some more while I'm on vacation and coming back, and we'll throw out some more episodes for you when I get back and kind of keep you kind of pour out my thoughts and feelings about the classic X-Men 92 through 96 show. So thank you so much.